I've been hooked on Spawn, dude. I'm hooked on Spawnix, and I'm so excited to dive into the alternate versions of Spawn. Now, from what I kind of like, it's kind of like a Ghost Rider thing going on. Is what I assumed previously, but I'm not quite 100% sure. But I know that I need the lore. They're like nipple tassels that get sucked off of me at Mach 5, and that's the pleasure I want to get out of every time I watch a lore video, and that's what I'm excited to get in. So let's roll this baby.
What's up, my comic comrades? Out of all the creator-owned characters, there's been one that's been more popular than the rest, and that would be Spawn. In my opinion, he was one of the coolest.
Spawn's the greatest. Everybody says he's the greatest. Some people are like, who's the greatest? I don't know, but they say it's Spawn. I don't say it's Spawn, but it's the greatest, you know. He's like, they call him the Tech 9, the Tech 9 of the comic book world.
Fictional characters to come out of the 90s. Period. And with the success of Spawn over the years, we have seen the creation and appearance of several alternate versions of the character. So today we're going to spotlight many of them, especially our favorites. In fact, there are a few that might be some of the coolest alternate versions of any character in comics, but let's dive in and find out. If you've been watching Variant for any reasonable amount of time, you know how these alternate versions episodes work. But if you're new to the channel, first and foremost, welcome. And second, we always start off these alternate versions episodes by breaking down the main version of the character all the other versions are based on. In Spawn's case, that would be the main Al Simmons Spawn.
It's Al Simmons, baby. The king, the goat, Alphonse Simonothi. Alphonse Simonothi was the CIA agent guy. He's we know Spawn. We love Spawn, but we'll let him talk about it. We'll let him talk his nonsense. But we all know, as King Jiffy fans, and as me being King Jiffy, I completely already know everything he's about to say, because we are fucking lore goblins.
Al Simmons was a highly skilled assassin before he ended up getting murdered by his employer and being sent to hell. While in hell, he sold his soul to one of hell's rulers, Malebolgia, so he could see his wife Wanda again. But of course,
dude, we got Booby Drop. They love to show that one. I like the Variant comics. Like, there is no actual nudity on that because it didn't like show like details and stuff. But those other douches were censoring everything. Now, they made good videos, whatever that other channel was called. But these guys, I think, Variant Comics does it right.
This wasn't an even trade. Malebolgia tricked Al, erasing his memory and sending him back to Earth as a Hellspawn, one of Malebolgia's many soldiers that do his bidding. But Al had a strong will and soon realized what he had lost and what he'd been turned into, at which point he swore revenge and became known as the crime-fighting anti-hero Spawn. Now, that's a very brief rundown of the main Spawn other versions of the character are based off of, but if you want an in-depth look at Spawn's history, check out our History of Spawn episode right here. Now, let's move on to our first alternate version of Spawn.
No video popped up, bro. You're failing. You didn't do the job right. It's probably like an old YouTube thing. I don't really know how they do those video pop-ups.
Medieval Spawn. Basically, Medieval Spawn was both a knight and Hellspawn from the medieval era of 16th century England. Yeah, pretty much one of the coolest combinations ever. The person who became Medieval Spawn was Sir John of York, a knight who fought during the Civil War in England. But unfortunately, he was released from his knightly duty after him and a few others mistakenly killed the Archbishop. And things only got worse for Sir John as he was later killed.
They're like, no, we killed the one religious leader. Damn it. Then they go to hell, and he comes back as the coolest designed thing ever. Look how freaking sick this is, dude. Like, the horse is all Spawn. It's got some Spawn drip. Dude's got, like, cool... Dude, the suit of armor Spawn goes so hard. This looks so sick, dude. I vibe with this really hard.
Killed on the battlefield in Ireland.
But here's the thing, too. Here's the thing that, like, this is something that I remember when... So, I've already complained about how they race swamped in the movie Spawn's Best Friend, right? But I love when they do alternate versions of a character where it's like, oh, well, you want white Spawn? Well, here's fucking really white, pasty English Spawn. Boom. Do you want black Spawn? Regular Spawn. That's just regular Spawn. And it's like, but they have different versions, different eras. They all combine into one story. And that's kind of why I like Miles Morales. I think... anybody who like complains that Miles Morales is woke, you're just actually dumb. It's just about like Miles Morales is cool, dude. I don't understand how anybody can not watch Into the Spider-Verse and think that shit's the sickest thing ever. And I like that they created like an original character around like they just didn't like take Peter Parker and say, well, Peter's black now. That would have annoyed me, but they created an original character. I like when they create these grand original characters that, yeah, they're not 100% original because they still tie into the original OG badass, but I like having some diversity in character designs and location.
by the king's bodyguards while he was trying to advance toward King Henry, wanting to ask for forgiveness. In death, his soul was sent to hell for enjoying the killings he committed. And once in hell, like others before him, he made a deal with Malebolgia, at which point he would be sent back to Earth years in the future as the medieval Spawn, riding his horse around England doing good and trying to redeem himself for his past. Medieval Spawn is an all-around badass and has been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. Next up, we have Spawn Godslayer from the 8-issue series of the same name. In this reimagining of the character, Spawn Godslayer is set in the world of epic fantasy like the Lord of the
Oh, dude, is this like dark fantasy though? Is this like Berserk Spawn? Are we getting Berserk Spawn?
Rings and Game of Thrones. The man who would become Spawn Godslayer was a warrior prince named Baron, and in issue 1 he tells his wife how
It's not Berserk Spawn. It's fucking incest Spawn. It's Game of Thrones Spawn.
he became Spawn when he was injured at sea, begging to survive and be returned to his wife. He was answered with thoughts and images that he could tell made up an offer, to which he agreed. He would serve his Dark Master and hunt down the old gods, and in return, he would be returned to his wife. But he explains, and then the cruelest turn of all. At last, my master kept his word. I was returned to you at long last, only to destroy you. So much like Al Simmons spawned with Malebolgia, this entity saves Baron in exchange for being an undead servant, killing the—
This is the lamest looking Spawn of the. This is the third one we've got to. Big cringe. Now the story might be really good, but I'm just gonna say right now this looks big. He looks big cringe, dude. He doesn't look like a cool Spawn. It's not like Berserk Spawn, dude. They already had Berserk Spawn with the other fantasy look. This was just like, how can we make it more cool? And it's just, I don't like it.
the gods of hence this Spawn being called Godslayer. Moving on, we got Spawn X. Most familiar with Spawn know he's a very rated R character dealing with hell, demons, child serial killers, and more. So creator Todd McFarlane, knowing this, decided to create a PG version of Spawn for young ones to enjoy the character too. Enter Spawn X from the Adventures of Spawn comic. The art was a lot more child—
That's fair. That's fair. I do like when companies do this too, so you can build in like a younger fan base to eventually get to your, like, this is something where I hate people who gatekeep. They're like, oh well, we shouldn't have stuff like that because they just need to experience the real thing like I did. And it's like, dude, your 9-year-old cousin who just learned how to fucking read isn't ready to dive into the like pedos and stuff. We're not gonna let him deal with that, so let's just have him fight a gorilla or some shit and it'll be cool. Like, this is like, I love this because later they'll be like, oh, I love Spawn, and then they get into the dark edgy Spawn as they get older, and it, like, the character ages with them, and that's cool. And it's one of those things that you see it all the time, especially with like CW shows and stuff. They're like, yeah, but it's like this, but for an older audience, because I know that all the people that used to watch this show are old now. They're old, so we want to make a dark Hardy Boys. We want to make a dark Powerpuff Girls. But here's the thing. They already had a dark Spawn, and then they made a kid version so that you can, like, grow up into regular Spawn. And it's if it's written well, and it has like a good progression, like, oh well, I started with this and then I can move to this, awesome, this is fucking sick. And that's the same thing if you make like if you have like that a kid's show that you want to make dark, just focus on writing the best fucking story you possibly can, and don't try to change the character in order to do that. No, don't make the character all fucking whiny and stupid like they like to do in modern shit.
Child-friendly, and overall the series gave a Saturday morning cartoon vibe, looking and feeling more reminiscent to Batman the Animated Series or Superman the Animated Series. This is most likely the tamest version of Spawn we will ever get, as it's meant to be more kid-friendly, but it still pushes the line towards adult, dark, and campy. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and many of us are already looking for something special for the fan we love. Well, if you want to be the galactic hero for the day of love, look no further than today's sponsor, Star Wars Fine Jewelry. They offer officially licensed necklaces, pendants, earrings, bracelets, and rings made—
Damn, dude, that's a long ass. If you want to do their ad thing, I'm guessing this is probably done because when did this video come out? 2 years ago. So I'm guessing this ad isn't even relevant anymore. So if you're mad for me skipping it, my bad, pimp. But yeah, dude, if you want it and this still works, go get it. The original video will be in the description when I upload this. So do that. Do that. Get yourself a nice cock ring. Get your wife a clit ring. Then get them hooked together when you're having sex and have to go to the ER room, I guess.
Jewelry.com today. Up next, we've got Angel Spawn. When Mother, the creator of the universe, takes God and Satan from heaven and hell and reincarnates them as children on Earth, Al Simmons Spawn needs to go to the Garden of Eden and eat the forbidden fruit to save humanity from Armageddon, since he alone has the potential to rise above God and Satan. However, Spawn ends up allowing Judas, yes, the Judas that portrayed Jesus, to stab him in the chest. Mother takes one of the forbidden fruit and gives it to the slain Spawn, revealing that
he's just he looks so savage. This is like one of the most savage looking things ever. You got the feathers looking all like majestic. He looks all dark and edgy. Then he's just got a fucking binky. What is he, going to a rave?
Spawn passed the test. He needed to die in order to be resurrected in a new form with the shining white wings, instead of his usual cloak, giving us Angel Spawn. This new form of Spawn was given all the powers of Mother, being more powerful than both God and Satan. So powerful, in fact, instead of defeating God and Satan to stop Armageddon, he just let them destroy Earth and trap them on the barren world to battle for eternity, while he left and used his godly power to recreate Earth and restore humanity.
Bro was like, I don't want to fucking deal with any of this bullshit. They're like, fuck you, Spawn. And then God's over here like, fuck you, Spawn. And then he's Satan's like, I said fuck you, Spawn, first. Well, no, fuck you. Don't you call me buddy pal. Don't call you me pal, buddy. And then they just start fucking clamming. They're just taking their dicks, using them as lassos, slapping each other in the face with them, fighting just in this glorious battle that you're thinking Spawn's gonna come in and he's just like, boom, world gone, trap you in a little fucking cube so you guys can have gay sex or whatever, and build a brand new Earth. I am all powerful.
There. Yeah. This version of Spawn is ridiculously powerful. Keeping the Spawn train moving, we have Omega Spawn, one of the evilest looking Spawns ever created, and definitely one of the most powerful. The character originated in Image United issue 1.
See, if this is what fucking Game of Incest Spawn would have looked like, it would have been way cooler, but Game of Incest Spawn looked lame and cringe.
With the Spawn of this comic actually being a man named Jim Downing, while the usual Al Simmons becomes the Omega Spawn. In issue 2, Omega Spawn explains to Downing that he plans to rule this world as he now rules hell, and wants to end the tug of war over the people of the world between heaven and hell. Satan gave this version of Spawn control over all of hell, making him more powerful than Satan or God, and he plans to combine the forces of Earth and hell to march them towards heaven and destroy it. It's pretty freaking nuts. The comic never made it past issue 3, however, so all this ended up not being canon, but it's an alternate.
They were like, we have this really cool idea, but it kind of sucks and nobody bought it. So Omega Spawn got the big L. We're flushing it down the toilet. They performed the old coat hanger surgery on it, and we no longer have it anymore.
Alternate version of Spawn nonetheless. Next up, we have Jessica Priest She-Spawn. Jessica was originally
She-Spawn, sexy as fuck. This is a W.
One of the world's most deadly assassins, actually being responsible for killing Al Simmons under the command of Jason Wynn, not Chapel. Jessica recently became She-Spawn in issue 300 of Spawn, when she stumbled upon materials and books left out by her
300? There's 300 fucking comics at this point? Is it a continuous story, or do they just keep doing what Marvel comics do and just start retconning and going all over the place and nothing's ever gonna go anywhere? It's just like Hero of the Week type shit? Because I thought Spawn had like an actual continuous story that was like that ends eventually.
Friend Nyx. She opens an ancient book filled with chants, wizardry, and potions with a spell and amulet on the back. A spell of resurrection. So she brings the amulet over to Nyx's body lying on the floor, puts it on her chest, and starts reciting the spell. But something else starts to happen as she's praying against all hope that what she's doing will have some effect. The amulet takes over Jessica's mind, but not by images of Nyx's life, rather those of Al Simmons. In short, she is reborn, becoming She-Spawn, who looks
fucking sexy, bro. She-Spawn? More like spawn my dick into her vagina.
Completely awesome. Jumping to the next one, yet again, we have Commando Spawn. Basically, Commando Spawn is just Spawn with a crap ton of handguns, assault rifles, ammunition, grenades, knives, smoke bombs, sniper.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. This is still above Game of Incest Spawn, but I don't think it catches up with any of the others. So far, my favorite. We're gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% objective here, which is a stupid thing to say when it's all subjective. Best Spawn is Medieval Spawn in terms of looks. Medieval Spawn is fucking sick. Maybe Omega Spawn beats it out. Like, I think Omega Spawn is like the coolest variant of the Al Simmons Spawn. So they fight, but God, Medieval Spawn's armor is just so cool. It really hits me in that berserk bone where I get that berserk boner. And then we go to, wait, no. I'm going to go Jesus Spawn or whatever that fucking God Spawn was with the angel wings. That one's pretty cool with the binky. Ooh, they're all pretty good. Anyways, like I'm saying, like I'm gonna take one Al Simmons and then a different Spawn here. We're just gonna go one Al Simmons. I'm gonna pick right now in the top three, and that's gonna be Omega Spawn, and I'm gonna give Omega Spawn the W because it's still Al Simmons. And fuck Omega Spawn. What am I even doing here? Omega Spawn's a bitch. He couldn't even make it 3 issues. Regular Spawn wins. Regular Spawn wins. Night Spawn, Sexy Spawn. Everyone else can fight for positioning however the fuck they want. This guy's toward the bottom with fucking Game of Incest Spawn.
Rifles, night vision goggles, and everything else you could think of. He's basically the most tricked out military commando character you've ever seen. Just a cool looking Spawn. Todd McFarlane knew exactly what he was doing. Then similarly, Todd McFarlane was like, you know what else is cool? Ninjas. And created Ninja Spawn. That's right, Ninja Spawn is yet another alternate version of Spawn where
Ninja Spawn looks cool. Ninja Spawn looks cool, but I'm sticking with my rankings. I think Ninja Spawn goes under Sexy Spawn.
McFarlane was simply like, that seems cool, I'll do that, giving us this awesome looking character, which I hope we see more of in the comic books. Then we have easily one of the most terrifying versions of Spawn that we got during the Hell Spawn, and that
it's fucking Batman Spawn. Cringe. Big fucking lame. Oh, but it's like, look, he's got a belt that's a skull that's not like a metal skull. And look, he's got crows. Get the fuck out of here. What is this? Just lame Batman Spawn?
is Raven Spawn. Raven Spawn is one of Malebolgia's Death Knights who went to Earth purely to torment Al Simmons' Spawn. Dude is like the Grim Reaper Spawn. He just looks absolutely terrifying and awesome at the same time. Todd McFarlane and all the artists he hires are really masters at
Okay, I take back everything I said about Raven Spawn, about being a little fucking bitch Batman boy, and this changes a lot for me. This changes a lot in aesthetic. It is now cool, and he now jumped up to over by Omega Spawn underneath the other ones I said.
Designing each version of Spawn they come up with. And the last version of Spawn we're going to mention today is my favorite alternate version of Spawn.
Dude, fucking that wins. That wins. What the fuck are we? Look how cool this is, dude. Cowboy Spawn fucking takes the dub, dude. What the fuck is this? This is so... This is peak. This is fucking peak. Look how cool this is, bro. Dude, I wonder if there's a lore video on Cowboy Spawn. I will read the fuck out of it. I not read. I will ingest the lore of Cowboy Spawn into my testicles as hard as possible. New ranking. New rankings happening. We're starting all over. Cowboy Spawn way up here. We got regular Spawn, Night Spawn, Sexy Spawn. Everyone else. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. These are the ones that's going to sit in my memory. When I think back to this, I'm not going to remember all these other jabronis, but I'm going to remember the fuck out of Cowboy Spawn.
Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn. He just recently got his own self-titled series, and I highly recommend you read it. It's dope. Gunslinger Spawn's real name is Jeremy Winston, a family man from the Wild West days. He lived peacefully with his family until one day when things really didn't go his way. He was framed with killing his own family by a dude named Ed Kemper who just wanted his land. But right before Jeremy died, he made a deal with Mammon and came back to life as a Hell Spawn. Gunslinger's current mission and purpose going forward is to kill the people who killed his sister Amy. He's a fantastic character, and I recommend you read a series. It's just awesome seeing a Wild West gunslinger version of Spawn. I think his backstory is great and he looks incredible, so definitely check him out. But there you have it, my comic.
Dude, it sounds so sick, dude. I need to queue up. We're gonna have to do a lore dive on Cowboy Spawn. Now in my head, I already know the lore dives that eventually I will get to. We're gonna do Cowboy Spawn. We're gonna do fucking Medieval Spawn. Game of Thrones Spawn can kick rocks. Game of fucking Incest Spawn can kick rocks. I don't give a fuck about him. But these other spawns, maybe Sexy Spawn, just because we got to get some fan service out there. But yo, Cowboy Spawn seems fucking sick, and I want to learn everything about it.
Comrades, several alternate versions of Spawn. We couldn't get to every single alternate version of the character, but this is a good chunk of them, as well as our favorites. But let us know what your favorites are down in the comments. And that's gonna bring today's episode to a close. But if you enjoyed this one, check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, like, subscribe, and comment. It helps.
We have to do this one last video for the night after the in my current stream. We're gonna do one more after this. I gotta learn how powerful Spawn is.
Helps out the channel. But other than that, I'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.
Dude,
I'm here at the home internet.
Here's the deal, dude. I'm already hyped about all the different Spawn variants. We got that. This is geared up for more lore. I have ingested the lore right into my veins, buddy. We are under the bridge, sucking wiener for Spawn lore as much as we can get. We're like, please, please, more Spawn lore. I need it. I need it. Give me another wiener in my mouth. This is exactly what we live for. We are on a peak ride. I am so happy you are all here. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.